Hey, yo, Dre, what's going on? It's your boy, Uncle Dewey. Just want to let you know that I really appreciate the love you showed me with your voicemail, and to also let you know that you've inspired me to start this podcast thing. I'm really enjoying it so far. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it up. Let's do it. All right, enjoy, and I'll see you on the airwaves, or Facebook, or Instagram, or either way, I'll see you. You know what I'm saying? All right, bye.
You, yo, welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a minute since my last episode of Dre State of Mind. It's been a minute. A lot of things have transpired. Definitely a lot of things. 2020 is definitely one of the worst years I've ever experienced in my entire life, and it just keeps getting worse. Pretty much we still have police shooting unarmed black citizens. We have the Jacob Blake situation that's going on in Kenosha, which then led to the Kyle Ritterhouse situation, the 17-year-old that pretty much went from Illinois to Wisconsin to, for whatever reason, with an AR-15, like armed with gloves on and shit like that. I would think he was going to go hunting or something like that. Because I think like hunters usually wear gloves on their fingers, gloves on their hands and stuff like that. But went out there, whatever his intent was. I think his intent was to shoot someone, which he actually did. He actually shot multiple people and ended up killing two. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of false information that is being spread on the internet about Jacob Blake, and like these people who are, I guess, like Republicans or whatever, Trump supporters, or just plain racist, like, or cop lovers, like they're just spewing out like just facts. Well, actually, like shit that's not even facts. Like pretty much like all right, so they said like he was they said like Jacob Blake declared that he had a gun in the car and was going to go get it and was brandishing a knife. So pretty much like that is actually false. There was really no reason, actually there was no reason at all for a person to be walking away. First of all, like the cops weren't even called for him. Like they were called for a domestic dispute. There was no warrant out for his arrest. Like the Kenosha police, they actually verified that there was no warrant out for his arrest. There's no reason for the cops to be following him. He was just over there, I guess, like trying to play peacemaker or break up the dispute of what was going on. The cops showed up. I'm figuring he was like, okay, they showed up, they can handle this. I'm leaving. For whatever reason, they're still trying to detain him, which makes no sense, which leads to him walking away. He's got his kids in the car, so I'm pretty sure he's probably like, yo, like, let me tend to my kids, like, leave me alone. Goes to go get in his car, and then some coward police officer shoots him 7 times in the back for no reason, leaving him paralyzed. And even though he's still the victim, for like several days, he was actually handcuffed to his hospital bed, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, in my opinion, even when you're black, even if you're the victim, you're still treated as a fucking as a suspect. Shit makes no sense whatsoever. And like, what was the point? Like, you paralyzed him, so what was the point of handcuffing him to the bed? Like, he's not going anywhere. He can't go anywhere. You took his mobility away from him. And I hope like it's bad enough that he lost his ability to walk, but maybe it won't be maybe it won't be permanent, maybe it'll be temporary, but usually when a bullet, I guess, severs the spine or something like that, like it's usually permanent, which fucking, like, that sucks. So then, after the shooting and everything, people were demanding justice. The cops are, I guess, like still doing their little quote unquote investigation, which usually doesn't lead to shit. So the dude, he's probably the cop that shot him is probably on desk duty, with pay, still getting paid, still earning a livelihood. Meanwhile, Jacob Blake's life is just like completely turned around. Hopefully he can sue the Kenosha Police Department and get compensated. I mean, that's the silver lining in the whole situation. But then, pretty much, so people are demanding justice for that. Justice still hasn't come yet. So, the people of Kenosha, they started protesting. And pretty much, like, for whatever reason, whenever there's a protest for black issues, or it's black people protesting, cops want to be heavily armed and things of that nature, and they got to be out there patrolling. But usually when white people are protesting, they might be out there being observant, but they're not heavily armed. They're not they're not looking to be aggressive. Like with black protests, from what I've seen from this year, the cops are out there looking to be aggressive. They're looking to shut it down, like quickly, shoot tear gas, and try to disperse the crowds and things of that nature. Like, I don't understand, like, when it comes to skin color, when it comes to black skin color, why the police always have to be aggressive with people of color. Like, I just don't understand it. So they're out there, people doing a peaceful protest. You got a militia that shows up from Illinois. Kyle Ritterhouse is one of those people that's in the militia. His parents are in the militia. His parents are heavily armed. I don't know if his dad was there, but I know for sure that his mom drove him there, because she damn sure drove his ass back after he shot and killed 2 people and wounded others. So pretty much, so she should be charged with aiding and abetting a criminal. I mean, they damn sure would do that if she was black. So pretty much, like, how the whole situation goes down, he's out here bootlicking, giving cops, water and things of that nature. I guess earlier in the day, he's like, scrubbing graffiti and shit like that, because that's what the media tried to focus on after this whole shit went down, like trying to paint him as like, oh, he's a good kid, blah blah blah. Like, no, he's a fucking killer. He's a thug. He's a murderer. Just like you should use those words. Like, if a 17-year-old black kid or Latino kid fucked around and shot 2 people and killed them, you would label them as a thug. You would bring their criminal records up and things of that nature. But now you want to paint him as a good Samaritan? Get the fuck out of here, man. So then, he's doing all this shit, telling the police, glad they're there and blah 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 and all this and that. So I don't know what happened. Somewhere along the lines, I guess, like, it was a protester. I don't know, like, what started the argument, but it's caught on camera that, I guess, like, a clear bag was thrown at Kyle in Rittenhouse's direction. It didn't hit him. It was a clear bag. Now, people on the internet trying to lie and say, a Molotov was thrown at him. A Molotov was not thrown at Kyle Jacob. You need to get your fucking facts straight. It was a clear plastic bag. No threat whatsoever. A clear plastic bag is thrown in his direction. Doesn't hit the kid, but he decides to start shooting. Fucks around, shoots. Who did he shoot first? There's 2 victims. Trying to get their names correctly. Well, the one victim who survived is Gage Grosskreutz. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. He was the one that survived. He was the one that shot in the arm. He actually, I guess, like, brandished a weapon. He was going to shoot Rittenhouse, but I guess, like, Rittenhouse got the shot off first and hit him in his arm, so he retreated. but this is after he had shot. I believe he shot Joseph Rosenbaum first, and shot him in the head. So pretty much like that's the video that pretty much there's two videos like of the separate shootings. That was the first video that I seen on Twitter when like the shit first popped off like a couple days ago. You see a dude like, and you see another guy. He literally took the shirt off his back and put it on Joseph Rosenbaum's head, like, you know what I'm saying, like to try to stop the bleeding and everything like that. And then so the second victim, Anthony Huber, he was part of the crowd that was trying to subdue Rittenhouse because he shot, you know, and pretty much killed like a person first. And then that's the video. The second video is the one that the conservatives or like the racist ass people are trying to run with, trying to say, oh, they was attacking him and try to take his personal belongings. And no, they were trying to subdue him because he already fucking shot someone. So you need to get your fucking facts straight. So, you know, armed with just a skateboard, Anthony Huber tried to subdue him and hit him with a skateboard, but unfortunately he was shot in the chest. And then like in the video you see after he was shot, he just immediately fell and he just died. So I'm assuming that he died like when the bullet just like impacted his chest. Then that's when Gage Gross Cruz or Krauts tried to, you know, put Rittenhouse down, and he just, you know, for whatever reason, like I think like he had the gun aimed to him, but he froze for a second, and Rittenhouse shot him in his arm, and then he retreated. So then Rittenhouse runs to the police, surrenders, puts his arms up and everything like that. The police just drive past him, like they just didn't see what the fuck happened. Like they just didn't see like him shoot two people or whatever. So they allowed him to pretty much like hop in his car with his mom and fucking go back to Illinois. Now Illinois is on some bullshit because there's a judge that put a stay in for him to delay him, like I guess detaining himself, surrendering himself back to Kenosha. So he won't have to do that until like the 25th. So I just really don't understand like why the fuck they're trying to help this kid. He's a fucking murderer, dog. Like, but this is the same system that helped who was it, that white dude that raped the unconscious chick at a party, and the judge said that it was gonna, you know, hurt his future. Like, no, he hurt his own future when he decided to have sex without consent with a chick that was unconscious. So I don't want to hear none of this bullshit. But then like you don't give no leniency to people of color when we're put in the same situation, or we might not. We could put in a situation that's less than that, like maybe shoplifting. There's a kid that got fucking life for shoplifting. How does that even equate? I just don't fucking understand this shit, man. I really don't. Like, in this shit, like, it really gets me pissed. Like, you can probably tell in the tone of my voice, like, this shit, it just really gets me pissed off. And it's just like, I just don't understand, like, why black people just can't, or people of color, like, we get treated like shit. But I guess, like, when you're not in control of things and you're not in control of, you know, the government, or you're not in control of, like, you don't have power of, like, the whole situation, then you're definitely screwed. You're behind the eight ball. And, like, the shit is sad. Like, part of me wants to believe that he's going to get convicted and brought to justice, but the majority of me knows that he's probably going to get off on some bullshit. Like, he's probably going to be like the new George Zimmerman, where he killed Trayvon Martin in cold blood for no reason, and he's still walking around, like, just living his life, auctioning off the gun that killed a 17-year-old black guy. Like, what kind of piece of shit is that? Like, you are truly a piece of shit if you're sitting up there, you're profiting your whole thing is you're profiting off of you killed a 17-year-old. Like, you're a bitch. You're truly a fucking bitch. Like, dead ass. But I guess September 25th, we'll find out what's going to go on in the continuation of this case. Hopefully, throughout this trial, we'll hear some good news. We'll get a conviction, and bring justice to those two, fallen protesters that were, just out there trying to protest until some dickhead with an AR-15 shows up for no fucking reason. Like, there's no reason to show up to a fucking protest with a gun, with an assault rifle. It's a peaceful protest, but like I don't understand. Like, you don't really see black folks rolling up strapped to a fucking KKK rally and start shooting and all that. Like, so I don't understand, like, when black people, or it's a Black Lives protest, or just black people protesting in general, like, white folks have to show up and oppose. Like, I just don't understand it, man. But that's pretty much enough for that, because I can go on for like fucking 3 hours just rambling on about this whole subject. As of recently, actually as of like yesterday and today, there's been some more deaths that have occurred in 2020. This has been a lot of deaths this year. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther fame, played Jackie Robinson in 42. Played James Brown. What was that on Get On Up? He lost his 4-year battle with colon cancer that nobody really knew that he had. I mean, I'm pretty sure like his close family members and friends probably knew, but the world didn't know. I wonder if Disney knew when they offered him the role of Black Panther. But pretty much he lost his 4-year battle, which is remarkable in itself. So I was on Twitter and I read people who had family members that passed from colon cancer, and they usually went out within like 4 to 6 months or something like that. But he had the strength to fight for like 4 years while giving us Black Panther, while giving us Endgame, Infinity War. He made his debut in Captain America Civil War, which what year did that come out? I think that was before he was diagnosed. He shot 21 Bridges, The Five Bloods. So he shot like a numerous amount of movies while battling the colon cancer. And then when he wasn't shooting, he was making appearances at like hospitals like St. Jude's, making appearances and making, fulfilling wishes for, terminally ill little kids. So it's like, even though it's sad that he passed, but he made his story inspirational, which we need more of that in the world. Like, we need more inspiration in the world, because there's so much negativity out there. It's just sad. Like, you never know what battles people are facing, behind closed doors. Because I remember seeing that picture of him where he was looking kind of sickly. I think it was like earlier this year. It was either late last year or earlier this year. And I'm like, damn, like what's going on with Chadwick? But him being an actor, like, I kind of chalked it up to him, probably, losing it's like a traumatic weight loss for like a movie or something. But it was like the sign was right there. But there's people on Instagram and Twitter and shit like that, like they were just sitting up there, like just making fun of his appearance and like with not knowing what the fuck was going on. and I bet you they feel like shit right now. I hope they feel like shit. So, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. King T'Challa, Wakanda forever. It's just sad. Also, basketball coaching legend, Lou Olson had passed away. I believe it was yesterday too. Um, I think it was earlier in the day. Like his was announced earlier yesterday. Um, he was 85 years old. Um, they didn't specify, I guess, like exactly what he passed from, but I believe he had a stroke or a heart attack or something like that, like prior or something like it was his health that pretty much like had forced him to retire. I think it was back in like 2007. That was like the last time he coached at Arizona. He was always one of my favorite coaches, and Arizona was like always one of my favorite teams to watch. Under his tutelage, like he had Miles Simon, Mike Bibby, Richard Jefferson, Gilbert Arenas, Luke Wilson, not Luke Wilson, Luke Walton, Bill Walton's son, and current Sacramento Kings head coach. Won 3 rings with Kobe in them. Who else? Who else came from? I think Michael Wright, Jason Terry. There was a whole bunch of former NBA players or just NBA players that came up through Lou Olson's tutelage. Before he went to Arizona, he was a coach at Iowa, which he was pretty successful over there too. So rest in peace to Coach Olson. And then also earlier today, before I actually hopped in the shower, saw Cliff Robinson passed away, former NBA player. He was 53 years old. They didn't say what he passed away from either, but I think they said like he had a stroke like a couple years ago or something like that. I remember him, mainly from the Trailblazer days in the early '90s. They went to back-to-back finals. He was part of the team, major part of the team. They did lose to the Pistons in '91, I believe, and then the Bulls in '92. He was famously the dude that was right next to Jordan when Jordan hit his 6'3", and then Jordan gave the little shrug or whatever. Cliff Robinson was the dude he shot the 3 over. But he was a 6th man of the year, 1993 6th man of the year, one-time All-Star, and he's a University of Connecticut legend. So he did dominate at UConn as well. Like, he was a really good basketball player in his day. He had an 18-year career, and I'm just like, damn, man. Like, can people, like in 2020, like please, like just stop taking people, man. Like, you already took Kobe. It's like, yo, can you please just stop taking people? Like, you took Kobe, you took Regis Philbin, Naya Rivera. Who else? Like all the celebrities that passed away in like 2020, man. Like, you just took like so many people. Like, just chill. Like, you're just you're doing too much right now. Let me just say, like, 2020 is doing way too much. I'm pretty sure the Grim Reaper does not need to be going around taking a whole bunch of people. Was it Chadwick Boseman? I'm trying to see who else that I know of. There's just a whole bunch of people, man. Like, this year has been pretty much fucking depressing. Very, very, very fucking depressing. I mean, I don't watch it, but Chi DeVane had passed away. She was on RuPaul's Drag Race. Let's see, Ben Cross, he was in Chariots of Fire, and he appeared as Spock's dad in 2009 Star Trek. He passed away. Let's see, I'm just scrolling. Probably hear like the clicks in the background. Oh shit, Wilford, that's right. Wilford Brimley did die this year. Damn, dog. He passed away. So a whole bunch of people, man. Malik B from the Roots. There was no cause. No, they didn't release the cause of death or the information about his death from the Roots. Like one of the founding members of the Roots. Actually, he was the founding member of the Roots. My bad. He had left. I guess like after Things Fall Apart, like their Things Fall Apart album. Like he contributed in like I think like 2 more future albums that they had like after that, but that was pretty much it. Like he wasn't like a regular member of the Roots anymore. But like he passed away. It's just like a whole bunch of people, man. RIP to everyone that we lost. And personally, my uncle, he had passed away. It's just rough. Like after having like one person in your family, my grandmother back in 2014, she passed away from brain cancer, and like just having to repeat another person, in your family passing away from cancer, like this shit is hard, man. Like this shit is hard. Like to see someone who you grew up admiring, someone who you wanted to, I guess, like use a little bit of their, the way that they went about life, like just mix it in your bag and like just try to be a better version of them, like an inspiration. Like just sit up there and like just watch cancer like just wither them away, and like to see what they look like, when they pass. Like it's crazy. It's like this is not the person who I remember growing up with, who I admiring, looking at from afar. And that's the same way I felt about my uncle. Like it was painful to see him like that, but even though it's sad that he passed away, I'm just glad to like not see him in the pain that he was in. Like pretty much like the way I look at cancer is like your death is pretty much like, I guess depending on which cancer that you have, if you succumb from it, it's usually like kind of like drawn out, but then like when it takes you, like it takes you pretty fast. So rest in peace, my Uncle Sirach, and everybody else who passed, because all I gotta say is for everyone to live your life to the fullest. Don't pay attention or don't mind what anybody else has to say. If it's some negativity towards you, like to pay them no mind. Life is too short to be paying attention to all the negative aspects. Just do what you want to do, as long as it's legal. Pursue your dreams. Just do what makes you happy. Like I said, as long as it's legal. And just pretty much like just do your thing. Ignore everybody who has anything negative to say to you, because you could be here today, gone tomorrow. And also just cherish all your loved ones, because like I said, they could be here today and gone tomorrow. As a matter of fact, they could be here today and gone today at the same time. But in the same day, they could be here today, gone today. That's how fast life can go. So that's all I can say, man. I hope everyone stays safe, and it was good getting back on here, reconnected with everybody. I'll be back on more frequently. It's your boy Dre signing off.